In this passage from Revelation chapter 2 verses 12 to 29, we read of the message to the church in Pergamon and also to the church in Thyatira. And we read that there is a question of loyalty amongst the communities in each of those churches, of loyalty to Jesus and of loyalty to the gospel teaching. It's likely that Revelation was written at a time when the newly formed Christian church was being persecuted by the Roman authorities under the direction of the emperor, which at the time was probably Domitian. There was a cult prevalent at that time known as Caesar worship. Now, Caesar, or emperor worship, was not a new thing at that time. It had been around since the time of Julius Caesar and also Augustus Caesar. And it started as a genuine response from the people of the Roman Empire and the people of the Roman provinces to the good works of the emperors. Now, some emperors like Tiberius and Claudius actively discouraged Caesar worship. But others, like Caligula and Nero, actively encouraged it. But it was under the reign of Domitian that Caesar worship was not just encouraged, it was demanded of the people. And so every year, once a year, everyone was commanded to drop a piece of incense into a flame and speak in such words as, "Caesar is Lord." It was a test of loyalty. Loyalty not only to the emperor, but loyalty to the Roman Empire. As you can imagine, for a Christian, this was an impossible thing to do. Because, of course, for the Christian, Jesus Christ is the only Lord. And so many Christians were persecuted because of this, and many Christians were executed because they refused to do this. But there were also other Christians who were willing to compromise somewhat and to engage with Caesar worship in some ways and to engage with the Roman Empire. And so when we read of the communities in the churches of Pergamon and Thyatira, we read of such a charge against them, that they are not as loyal to Jesus as they should be. They are not holding to the teachings of the gospel, and they are following others who teach other ways than the gospel. So how does this apply to our church communities here in Ackworth and Badsworth? There is a warning here for us. Hold fast. Hold fast to the teachings of Jesus. Hold fast to the teachings we read in the Gospels. Not to other things, not to other people, not to other teachings. Loyalty to Jesus and the gospel message. The challenge for us today is to be aware that there are many ways in which we can be distracted, many ways in which we might be tempted to compromise, many ways in which we might follow a different teaching. The question is, how do we discern these ways? How do we hold fast to the teachings we first received from Jesus and from the Gospels? That's the challenge for us as a church today.